Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. It's Wendy here from Little Nest Crafts. Thank you for joining me this evening. I hope you've had a fantastic week, and for those of you who follow me regularly, you'll know that I'm participating in the lovely Rachel and Bella of Rachel and Bella Crafts in their latest collaboration. And for those of you who don't know, to find all the videos that are going to be made relating to this collaboration, to find it you'll have to type in hashtag best of Brits JJ. So that's hashtag best of Brits JJ. And if you don't know, the collaboration started on the 12th of September and it runs right through to the 10th of October. And Rachel and Bella have done it a little bit differently this time. She's paired us up with another designer of her choice, and what we have to do is, well, I'll tell you now. She paired me up with Jez. So if you're watching this video is going out on the 25th of September, and you'll have seen Jez yesterday. And what she did yesterday was she took a project that I'd produced in one of my videos and did her take on it. And obviously, because I'm filming this early, I won't have seen what Jez has made, so I don't know which of my videos she picked, which of my projects she picked, and what she did with it, but I'm sure it'll be absolutely wonderful because she does some fantastic things. And then today I'm going to be using one of her videos that she made. I'm going to be using one of her projects and putting my little twist on it as well. So I hope that you're going to like what I'm doing this evening. Now, just while we're on everybody's, all the designers, there'll be a different person every day. Some of them are doing more than one video, so you might see, I think Jez is doing a couple of videos during this collaboration, and there are others who are doing extra videos as well. And so I do hope that you've been giving them lots of likes, and if you've liked, and generous enough to follow them, hope that you've been doing that to give them some support. And what Rachel has tried to do is, because we find it quite difficult to get in the algorithms in YouTube, she's given us this platform to try and help our channel, the little channels along a little bit, and with the help of channels that have got quite a good following, like Jez. She's one of the popular designers, and so she's kindly highlighting my little channel, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's just to, not that we want to take away from anybody else, I mean, there's some fantastic designers out there from all over the world, but Rachel just wanted to shine the light on the on our British designers. Not that we're better than anybody else, but just to highlight what we do a little bit. So we'd like to thank you for all your support, and yeah, if you like what you see, just leave a comment, hit the like button, and it just helps us to get our little channels noticed a bit more by the followers of YouTube. So for those of you who saw my previous video, when I mentioned that I was going to be taking part in this collaboration, you'll know that I've been putting together, I'm going to make a little flip-flop journal, and I've been putting together my signatures, and I've used the beautiful kit that Rachel has designed to go along with this this collaboration, and you'll find that available on Rachel and Bella's YouTube page, and you'll find it in Rachel's shop, and you'll also find it in her Ko-fi page. So go along there, have a look at the kits, you know what kits there are, and while you're there, there's lots of freebies, because Rachel's very generous, and she designs us lots of freebies to help us with our crafting. So do go along there and have a look. Now, I've used, for this project this evening, talking about Rachel's freebies, I'm going to be making something, and I wanted something, I'm going to be making something with a pocket, and I wanted something to go in with the pocket. And if you look at Rachel's freebies, there are these lovely original letters that belong, you know, that were given historically by members of her family. And this one was dated in 1965, and that one's in 12th of the 2nd. It looks like in 1947. Yeah, so what she's done is she's photocopied them and put them in as a little kit. So all I've done is I've got a little crinkled paper digi page in my stash, and I've printed that on the back, and I've just crumpled them up a little bit to make them look a little bit like they go together, you know, the crinkly back and this. And I've done the same with that one, and I'm going to use my scissors just to rough the edges up a little bit. And I have got a Tim Holtz tonic tool, and so I'm just going to make them a little bit rougher, and you can do it by using the edge of your scissors, and then you can ink them. So yeah, it just makes them look a little bit more rough and ready. So they'll be ready to go in the little pocket that I'm going to be doing. And then I'll give you a quick update on the there we go, that'll do for now. So I'll give you a quick update on the signatures that I've done. I'll just put the list away up the way. And what I've done is I've printed off some of the collaged papers here. I've not printed anything on the back, and you'll see the reason why. So I've used, I mean, look at those, aren't they stunning? I've used that one, and that one. And what these are is I've printed 2 to a page. So that's one sheet. This is another sheet. That's a sheet, and that's a sheet, and the same on there. As you can see, that's 2 to a sheet. So there's actually 6 pages of papers there. And the reason I've printed them 2 to a sheet is I want them to fit in my little journal. And this is going to be a 4 signature journal. There's going to be 2 facing that way and 2 facing that way. I've just got to make the cover. So it'll be a little flip-flop journal, and I will show you when I do the cover. So all I've been doing is filling in, just to recap, I've put in some of the pockets, I've put in lots of the tags and the ephemera, and I've gone round and put some nice little bits of florally lace on the pockets here, and I've done up tucks, and I've done little corner pockets. I've used these pieces as little belly bands and put in the hearts that come with the kit. So I've gone through the journal, and then what I've done as well, I've made some little envelope pockets, and I've decorated them on the front with some of the ephemera and butterflies from the kit. I've used some words from my stash, my own stash, and then I've put a little felt, not felt, Velcro stopper on the top, and I will be putting things in here, which is why I've printed off some of the letters. So I'm going to print off some more, because there are more than those two actually in Rachel's kits, in Rachel's freebies. And I've got some more pockets to fill here. So I've used some of the pieces to do little tuck spots. And so yeah, so that's one there. And so similarly in here, same again, I've put some flowers on. I've put some fussy cuts down the side of the pages. These are from my stash, and I've tried to use colours of, you know, the greens and the whites and the pinks because of the colours in the kit. That's a belly band, and I've made an envelope and used one of the stamps in the kit and just put some tulle behind there. So that's another pocket that needs something to go in. So I've yet to make some cards and things to go in there. And let me just make sure that goes in there properly. So a little bit tight, but it does go in. And then what I've done is I've used some of the collage pages and ripped them, just to, instead of that being just a printed page, to give it a bit more added interest. Let's have a look. I'm going to make some projects to go on the book pages. So same again, there's another one there, look. I've just used a piece of the paper, and I've put a butterfly on there and left its wings dimensional so that they're not glued right down to the page. I've put another envelope in there that needs something going in, and I want to decorate on the front of these as well. So it's coming along nicely. I've used vellum for the outside of the another more flowers there, and some more fussy cuts on there, another envelope in that belly band, some more lace trim there, floral lace. And I've used, as I mentioned previously, I've stenciled on some of the plain pages like that, just to give it a bit of added interest. So that's that one. And the last one, same again, I've used some of the tags and put them in the pockets and things there. And looks like one of my flowers has stuck on the page, only a bit. There we go. So there's another one of the belly bands. And yeah, and on this page here, I did some, I was going to say Mod Podge, but it's not Mod Podge, texture paste, and put a stencil on. And I might go over that with a bit of colour, you know, a bit of pearlescent or something like that, a bit of wax, just to, you know, make it look a bit different. And then here, this was a freebie as well in Rachel's, and so I printed off the page and just cut them out, and they were like side edges, and they go perfectly with this kit. So you'll find that in Rachel's pocket, and it was just side pockets. I've had to reduce them inside, sorry, in size. I'll show you that some of them that were in the other. And there's my second little envelope there. So all I've done is I've used one of the pages, put some of the fussy cuts on, a sentiment out of my stash, put a butterfly on, and I've laced the edges with my lace edge trimmer. And I'll just go over to one of these here and find one of the other edge pockets that I put in, so you can recognise it when you see it. I can't remember off the top of my head what it was called, but you've got fluted ones like that. Look. So, you know, I'm going to be putting things in there as well. So let me just pop that back. This is another piece of ephemera from the kit. So yes, that's as far as we've got. So coming back to this project now, I'll just put those to one side. What Jez did is she made, Jez likes, you know, she likes making her own tags, and she doesn't often use tags from digital kits because she likes to do her own thing. And same with envelopes, she likes to make her own envelopes as well. And this is called sorry about that, I got a bit distracted. Yeah, so if you go over to Jez's YouTube page, and if you look for her collaborations tab under the videos, look for the collaborations tab, and I think there's about 12 videos in there. Scroll down the list and you'll come to a heading of RachandBellaCrafts collaboration tags and decorative elements, and that's the video that I'm going to be doing or sort of replicating today. So it's RachandBellaCrafts collaboration tags and decorative elements, because we're going to be making some tags for this journal. So yeah, so here we go. So because I want them half the size, because obviously I want them to be able to fit in this video, I'm just going to cut these pages in half. So which ones shall we do? I think I'll put that one to the side just for the moment, and I'll do these two. And my plan is to make four tags, because I've got 4 signatures. So basically what Jez did, she folded in, now because she was using copier paper, I think, in the project, she folded her paper over quite a bit. So basically what she did is she folded it over. Now then, I want these to come to the bottom because they'll be upside down otherwise. And all she did was, do I want that as the front of my tag? I'll try and keep that. Hang on one second. And she folded that over there. Yeah, I'm going to have to do it this way. Let's have a look. I'm going to try not to lose too much of that. So I'm going to wing it a little bit, because obviously my measurements aren't going to be the same as Jez's. So let's have a look now. Nope. I think what I'm going to do is do it singly, because I'm using thicker card, I think, than Jez did, so I can afford to make my pocket a single layer. Whereas what Jez did, she folded that into there and then folded that over like that, but that'll only give me a tiny pocket. So let's have a look. I think we're going to have to make that the front of the... And how wide, let me see how wide that is. That gives me a 3-inch. So I suppose we could afford to go to 2.5-inch tag. So let's have a look. If I come back over this way before I score it. Trying to stay in frame. Bit of a cack-handed way of doing it, but once I've done one, yeah, so that's roughly 2.5 inches, and we'll score that down. That's straight, and that gives us a deeper. Now I'm going to have to go to 3 inches, I think. There we are. And you would never know. And then fold that back over here. And then that gives us our little tuck spot. And I made that far more complicated than it needed to be. And then what I'm going to do is use my little corner rounders, and I'm going to round the bottom corners of my tag, and I'm going to make the top tag shaped with my so there we've got a little tag with a pocket in. So we're going to do that with all 4. So we'll have a bit of a mass make session, and we'll do the same here. Try and get it roughly the same size. Let's have a look. Just as a guide. And then make sure it's straight. And it doesn't matter if they are slightly different sizes. There we go. Lovely. So same again. Oh, sugar. I've used the wrong one, but no matter. We can rectify it. That's 2. And here's the next one, so make sure any writing we've got is legible in the right way round, and we'll Now, is that one straight? Yep, I think so. So which way? That was the way, wasn't it? So corner rounder for the bottom. And shape maker for the top. That's 3. Last one. And I would say that's that way. So we'll do that. There we go. So that's a pocket. There we go. I think I like that as the top. And then we'll get gluing then. And it's just a matter of decorating the tags. So it's a matter of gluing these down. So all I'm going to do is pop some glue along the top and down the sides. Maybe just a bit in the middle, just to hold the middles down, although I don't want to waste too much glue. And then glue these pockets down. So there, you've got a nice little tuck spot there. And same again. Bit in the middle. Taking a bit more care around there, because this is the actual pocket section. There's 2, and I will speed this bit up in the video. And I think you'll agree that the actual papers are gorgeous. I mean, look at those, they're stunning. Make sure they're all the right way up so you can see. And last one. Oh, my husband's listening to the Sultans of Swing. Fantastic song. So So there we go. And I'm just wondering if that's straight. No, it's not quite straight, that one. That's better. So I'll just get that corner rounder on there. There we go. And just trim. That's it. So there's the 4 tags. And then what we need to do is get our ephemera. And I've still got some pieces left over. And we shall put some on the tags. And what Jez used were some stamps, and she had some pictures, which these come in the kits. And we've got some pieces of ephemera here, and we've got flowers, and I've got some smaller bits and bobs here that come in the kit. And you've got some hearts, and then Rachel did lots of little pieces of ephemera like this. So I thought we might be able to utilise some of those along with some of the stamps. And then I've got lots of little flowers and things here. These are some more of the stamps that are in the kit. And you've got some there we go. And I think those labels were from one of Rachel's kits as well. So I'll just put it on pause a minute because I want to get some book page. So what I've done is I've got some scraps from my stash, and I've just torn them down a little bit and inked along the edges just to get the white away. And then I've got some French book page here, and I think I might quite like to have the text. No, I'll stick with, let's have a look. We'll do a long strip and see what's what. That's a bit long, so let's have a look here. Oh, it's a natural end there, isn't it? Put that to one side, we can use that. So that can go there. And then we've got these little banner pieces. Let's have a look. Maybe we could lay a piece of that on there, or try and stick with the colours that are in there. sure I like the straight edges, but let's have a look. And yeah, I don't dislike that, I don't think. So let's have a look. Same again. Bit of book page on the edge. And we'll get a bit of glue. There we go. What have we got? We've got something like that as well, might be striking to go on the front of one. Or maybe a bird stamp. Look. So it's just a matter of playing with the ephemera, and there's lots and lots to choose from. That's quite nice on there. We could have some, maybe have some lace. Excuse my arm a minute. Right, have a look what we've got in here. I've got some vintagey style lace here. Oh, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Let's have a look. We'll cut a bit of this off. Excuse me a minute while I'm probably off camera while I'm cutting this lace. Oh, maybe down the edge there like that. Yep, I like that very much. No, stick with that one, Wendy. And then this one. We could have some flowers Or Rachel has got a page of teacups as well in her freebie site. There's just a page. No. 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 Let's have a look what we've got. I think I'm going to go with the lace though. So we'll glue that down. And pop this on the top. And then I'm going to have a look in my flowers, because I think that one calls for a big rose. So I'll have a look in my box of tricks here. Nice big old-fashioned rose or two. Let's have a look. Maybe a nice rose like that. Just needs something behind it to make it stand out a bit. Yeah, I think I like that on there. So we've got that and that. With maybe a label at the bottom. Doesn't particularly say anything, but I think I like that. We'll go with that for that one. There we go. There we are. And it just needs trimming at the top there. need a bit of ink around the edge. And at the back. So yeah, I do hope that you'll pop over to Jez's channel. And for those of you who don't know Jez, she likes vintage, grungy, and that's her sort of style. So they will look very different to these. So here I'm going to get my ink and just go around the edge of this letter, and I'm going to fold it, and I think what I'll do is I'll fold it into 3. And then we'll pop it in the back of this tag. And then I'm going to just get my hole punch. And we'll pop in some nice ribbon in the top. So let's have a look what we've got. And what Jez does is she puts her ribbons and then she ties a bit of something around there, but I'm just wondering, I think I might need some sari silk in this. Yeah, I'm not going to use that. I'm going to leave the hole just as is until I have a browse through my sari silk, and we'll come back. We'll carry on with the decoration. So let's do this one now, and I'll do these two, and then I'll do the other two off camera. No, I'll do this one next. And I think we'll go with the flow. We'll put some ribbon on the back of this one as well. And rather than waste it, I will cut it rather than use the frill all the time. And we'll do the same there. And then we'll ink the edges here. So I hope that you're all well as well. I was at one of our daughters today, and you wouldn't believe we were talking about Christmas. I mean, we're in September, just the start of September, and already we're thinking of Christmas. It's unbelievable, really, isn't it? And how about that? Yeah, I quite like that, I think. Now I've got some leaves. Or I'll just check with the other flowers that Rachel's done. That's quite nice too. With Rachel's flowers from the kit. You could bring in a bit of pink and blue. Or there's those ones. Or maybe it there. And another sentiment or some such down the bottom. Or a number. Oh, choices. Excuse me, choices. We'll just have a look and see what other. That might be nicer, that one. There's a word for that one. And then we've got these flowers. I thought they were particularly lovely. Might try and incorporate those. So that one's done. And I think, depending on the choice of flowers, that I'm going to put that down there because I like that. Yeah, I think I quite like those. Little cluster. Oops. Yep. Yeah, we went, as I say, we went over to our daughter's this afternoon, and we're talking about Christmas, and what I've done is Chris and I have hired a holiday cottage, or barn should I say, and they're all coming to us for Christmas, and it's over in mid Wales. So there's going to be, or if everybody comes, it's Sleep 17, so we're going to have a bit of a family get together. Sadly, not all of them will be able to attend, so but we're going to try and get as many as we can together, because Christmas is always lovely when you've got the little ones there, and you know, you have all the family together. So that's that one. So same again, I'll punch a little hole in the middle, and we'll put that one to the side there, and then I'll put you on pause because this video is an hour long already, and I'll come back when I've done the other two. Right, I'm back everybody. So what I've done is I've put the letters in the back of two of them, and I've got two to do, so I've got to print off two more letters, which I will do. So those two, and I've put some sari silk. I've got a dusky pink, not sari silk, seam binding here, which I'm going to pop through the here. I just wanted to make sure that I'd got enough to do the same colour ribbon throughout the tags, and I have got quite a little bit of this dusky pink, so, and I thought it blended lovely with the cards there. And then what I'm going to do, I just thought I'd put a bit of bling inside the flowers there, so just to give them a little bit of added detail. So I've got these tiny little flowers there. Oops. There's always one, isn't there? There we go. So that's on those there. I'll put one in that little one here, I think. Just wondering if it'll be okay in the blue. Maybe not. I might just do an odd one. Or maybe not. There's not really one on there. It's just conducive for that one. Maybe that little one down there. So we'll put a little bit on there. I do like to work in threes. So let's have a look where we can put another one. maybe one there. Let's have a look. One there, and I'll do one over here somewhere, just as a random. There we go. And we'll do the same on this one. Maybe one there. We'll just go with it. One there. Yeah, one down there. And I suppose if we're doing continuity, maybe one down there. One there. Can't see where I've put the glue now. I think it was there. And one on there. So that's it, everybody. When I go behind the scenes, I'll print off another couple of letters, and we'll finish these tags. Yeah, and I hope that you've liked this project. Do go over to Jez's webpage, YouTube page, and have a look at the tags that she's done. I'll just bring them up to the camera for you so you can see them close up. And they've got the letter in the back. There we go. And then there's that one. This one. And then I did that one where I used a couple of the stamps there, and I've added a couple of flowers down there, well, 3 flowers down there, and the little one there. And this teacup is from one of Rachel's freebies, and so do go along to their Ko-fi shop and you'll see them in the coffee shop there, so help yourself. And talking about the kit, this kit, there's 40% off. Oh no, I'm not sure. It was going to last a week, but do check, because I don't know whether Rachel's extending it, but initially during the first week of the collaboration there was 40% off. So I do hope that you've not missed out there and you've grabbed yourself a bargain. So that's it for this video, everybody. Please enjoy the rest of the collaboration and give everybody your support. It would be much appreciated, and I do hope that you will join me in my next video. I do plan on doing another of Jez's projects, because there's quite a few in there that I loved when I follow Jez regularly, and so there's lots of inspiring videos in there for you to watch. So I'll say good night for now, because it's getting very late here, and until next time, stay safe and be kind to one another. Bye for now. Bye.